that's why it's so important that you practice these things. You know, I keep coming back to that because it's so big. When you were early in recovery, you practiced daily, not drinking, right? Accepting on a daily basis. This is what drinking does to me. You know, this is what following rules does. Like, okay, I'm in this place. I accept that I'm here, you know. But you took those things and you created a direction for your life off of that. Because you can no longer accept killing yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with guidance and help, right? Like,
Yeah.
I was luckily I was introduced to a lot of people that could sort of give me an idea of how to live my life, right? Because I didn't know. I just had no idea what I was doing. Like, I was all about, you know, the drugs and alcohol, and that's all I knew. So as soon as that was removed, I didn't know how to deal with feelings.
No.
I didn't know how to deal with things without it. I didn't know how to accept things without. You know, my version of acceptance when I was in the disease was, I accept what you're saying. I'm gonna go have a drink. You know what I mean? Like,
I can accept that. Now fuck you.
right, exactly. Now I'm gonna drink to that.
Yeah.
You know? And so, like, getting to a place where I accepted that was no longer working, you know, has led me to a place where I have to deal with those emotions. Like, I have to sit with those emotions and say, okay, like you said, like, go through this process of, like, why am I feeling this way, you know, and continue to practice that process. So, yeah, I mean, and recognizing that it is a process. It doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
And like I said, you can't just swallow hard and all of a sudden you're good. You know, I wish it was that easy. Like, I wish that, you know, accepting other people for who they are was that easy, and accepting that other people make the decisions that they do was that easy. But it is a process, and the only thing that we can do is, you know, try and respond the way that our higher selves would respond to that particular situation. And so
it seems like acceptance along with acceptance comes no negative behavior, right? Like, if I accept something, there's no negative behavior behind it. Like, I move on. You know, it seems like lack of acceptance, there's probably some type of negative behavior behind it, whether it's negative self-talk or dysfunctional thinking, or, you know, just malice, or some type of resentment, or, you know, anger towards that. Like, it doesn't even necessarily have to be behavior, but emotion, right? Like it seems like when there's acceptance, it, like you say, like, it's a process of, I don't necessarily have to like it, you know, because I don't like COVID. I don't like wearing a fucking mask every time I go into a grocery store, or feeling like, you know, there's a lot about COVID and the rules of our society now that I just don't like, but I do accept that these are the things that they are. However, I'm not, like, going through and, like, spending my whole day plotting on how to fucking change society because I don't necessarily like putting on I'm not going to the fucking grocery store ever again, you know, and all that negativity. I accept that I put on my fucking mask and I go in. And so, like, it seems like, you know, right action needs no explanation. Right. And I love that saying, right? Like, right action needs no explanation. And so if I feel like I have to explain my acceptance, I'm probably not in it.
Well, very well put.
Maybe, like, as I process this fucking whole COVID thing, like, maybe I don't accept it as well as I. However, I'm working on that.
Well, it's very well put, because there, you know, there's not a lot that we can do to control it, right? Like, we can play our own part and try and do the best we can in our own worlds and our own lives, you know. And I think it's interesting that you bring that up, because I think that everybody's response is unique and different, right? Like, I have friends that are really, like, super cautious, and then I have friends that aren't, you know. And I think it's there's a certain level of acceptance that has to happen when interacting with those friends. Like if I choose to reach out to a friend and I talk about getting together, and that person doesn't want to get together because of COVID, like I could choose to get offended by that and be like, "You're an idiot. Let's get together. I miss your stupid face. Like I want to see you, and I'm not going to let no COVID stop me." Or I can say, you know what? Like I totally get why you might think that. Like it's been so hard to gauge anybody's individual response to it, but all we can do is control ourselves. It's a great example of acceptance. Like all we can do is control ourselves and control our response to it, and understand that other people are going to be who they are with it, right? And we just have to accept that as it is.
Right.
You know? Like I can do my part. I can wear my mask. Like even though, like personally, like I probably wouldn't wear a mask if I didn't have to, but I choose to wear it because I feel like it's a certain level of respect. You know. Like,
Sure.
I'll wear the mask because you want me to wear the mask, and even though I'm not super concerned about it, like maybe it makes you feel a little bit better, so I'll wear the mask. Like I get it. Like I can do that. Like I accept that. You know, like that's my own level of acceptance with what's currently happening in the world, and that's all I can do.
Right.
So it's a great example, COVID.